Debbie is a reminder that as we approach the peak of hurricane season, we all need to be prepared. Even weak tropical systems can give us flooding rains, damaging winds, and tornadoes. So it's important to have your plan ready now. At WESH 2, our whole team is committed to providing trusted coverage wherever you need us.
We have team coverage tonight.
We have our sunrise team spanned out across Central Florida.
As the season continues, trust WESH 2 News and their first warning weather team to always keep you ahead of the storm.
A postal worker robbed at gunpoint delivering the mail. How you can give that man a first-class trip to jail. Plus,
don't move! If you move, you will be tased, you understand me?
A group of teens caught breaking into cars in Orlando, where officers found the suspect hiding out.
You don't want to be kept in the shelter. You want to be in a yard, in a house, and have a family and that loves you.
the Orange County Animal Shelter is bursting at the seams. What they are doing to encourage more people to bring a pet home.
Local, live, late-breaking. WESH 2 News starts now.
Polk County deputies need your help finding this clumsy criminal. You can see the man trip while running up to a postal worker with a gun, then robs that mail carrier. This happened in Ponciana back on August 1st, but the video was just released.
WESH's Luana Munoz is in studio tonight with what we know so far. Luana.
You know, summer investigators have that surveillance video of the robbery, and they're hoping someone is going to recognize the person in that video and send them a tip. It happened August 1st, as we just mentioned, just after 3 p.m. on Oak Circle in Ponciana. In this footage, as you can see, the clumsy masked suspect runs toward the mail carrier. He falls and gets back up and then points a gun at the victim. He then demands the carrier hand over her universal key, which can open up any mailbox. The carrier complied and the suspect took off running. The suspect is described as a black male, possibly in his early 20s, and weighs about 150 pounds. He was last seen wearing a T-shirt with holes cut for the eyes and for the mouth. The good news in this, the mail carrier was not hurt. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service is offering a reward of up to $150,000 for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of that suspect. So if you have a tip, we'll have all the information for where you can send those tips on our website. Just click on the story at WESH.com. Back to you.
Luana, thank you. In just hours, family, friends, and law enforcement will say goodbye to a Lake County deputy. Master Deputy Bradley Link died last week after investigators say a family ambushed Link and other deputies inside their home. Master Deputy Harold Howell and Deputy Stefano Gargano were also wounded. Howell is now home recovering. Gargano remains in the hospital. WESH 2 will be live streaming Master Deputy Bradley Link's memorial service tomorrow. The procession will leave the Becker Funeral Home in Claremont at 10 in the morning. Services at Real Life Christian Church began at 11. We'll have a full recap tomorrow on your news at 6 as well.
Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood visited deputies Howell and Gargano in the hospital last Sunday. He says the extent of Deputy Gargano's injuries are gut-wrenching.
When you walk out of there, you have a sense of, oh my God, how are they alive? Because their wounds were massive. They were wounds that I would expect to see from somebody in Afghanistan or somebody in the Ukraine or somebody in Israel, Gaza. That's what I thought of when I saw the wounds.
Investigators say the three who opened fire on the deputies took their own lives. Their relative, Julie Sulpizio, is now in jail, charged in that ambush. Deputies encountered her shortly before the shooting and say she led them back to her home, where her family members then opened fire.
All right, let's switch and talk about weather. We just got done with Debbie, but now another tropical wave has increasing odds of developing.
Yes, it is. First Warning Chief Meteorologist Tony Minolfi is tracking it all. So where is it heading, Tone?
Well, it's headed off to the west right now, and it's now Invest 98L, which means we'll start running the tropical models on them overnight tonight. But you can see a little bit more thunderstorm activity now around the core of this wave, and it's moving off towards the west at about 10 miles an hour. Chances have increased to now 70% that we're going to have a development of this particular feature. That may become Sunday night on into Monday, where we could be looking at a tropical depression. First runs of the models just now coming out. Again, for me, historically speaking, these don't do very, very well. We'll watch the trends, though, on them. And these are some of the early run models. They're not the main tropical gun models that we really like to hone in on, but they kind of give us a sense of where this could be headed. A lot of dry air around it. This is very similar similar to what we saw and experienced with Debbie as it was developing. It took a while for it to get going, got the thunderstorms going, started to clean out some of the Saharan dust. And look what happens here as it moves farther and farther west. The waters get warmer and warmer. Here's the million-dollar question. Does this get strong enough and go through a weakness between this big ridge of high pressure to the east and west? The Euro and the GFS are in that camp. We'll talk more about this and that long-range forecast coming up at 11:18.
Don't move! If you move, you will be tased. You understand me?
Orlando police busted a group of 4 teens and 1 adult allegedly trying to break into cars. This is near Pine Street and Neola Drive Monday. All 5 of those suspects tried to run. 1 even made it onto a roof of a nearby house.
I got the dog. You're going to listen to me. You understand? Come on down me. Come on down here by me. Get over here.
The teens were 13 to 17 years old. They all face burglary and attempted burglary charges.
New at 11, Orange County deputies just arrested a man in a deadly shooting. Investigators say this man, Pablo Cabral, shot and killed Steve Rodriguez this morning. Deputies found Rodriguez on Lake Underhill Road near Goldenrod Road and the 408. He died at the hospital. Investigators have not said what may have led up to the shooting. Also new at 11, Orlando fire investigators responded to a call about a car in the water. This happened on the 3400 block of Sun Court near Sunset Lake. Divers went into the water and there were no passengers in that car. An investigation is ongoing tonight.
Palm Bay police say 3 officers were forced to shoot a man after they say he murdered a woman. This happened on Jefferson Avenue this morning. Police chief says the call came in for a suspicious person and gunshots. When officers arrived, they heard the shooting coming from inside of a home. A man started shooting towards officers. Officers then returned fire, shooting convicted felon Joseph Fleming. Neighbors were stunned by the violence.
Yeah, our neighborhood is a real peaceful neighborhood, and that's what I'm saying is to get this is shocking. My kids was like terrified because this normally never happened.
When officers went inside that home, they found a woman dead. Investigators say this was domestic related.
Jury selection is set to start Monday for the woman charged with shooting and killing her neighbor, a mother of 4. Susan Lorenz is charged with manslaughter for killing A.J. Owens outside of her home in Marion County back in June. Today, the state and defense discussed what evidence would be allowed in court. The defense wants to exclude any of Lorenz's interrogation where it references that she ever called Owens's kids a racial slur or slaves. The judge agreed to allow some of that interview, saying it explains why Lorenz was in fear. And the defense also wanted some of the body cam video muted, specifically the part where Owens is being given CPR.
There are still questions tonight about whether Howard Middle School in Orlando will be ready by Monday. That's the first day of school. A robocall sent out tonight from the school's principal says contractors have made great progress in their work, but there is still no certificate of occupancy. The principal says that they are hopeful they can get the needed approvals by tomorrow so they can start the academic year on time and plan to share an update tomorrow. The building is 100 years old and has been in the midst of a big renovation.
All right, school starts for most of Central Florida on Monday, and time is running out to save on supplies. The school sale tax holiday ends on Sunday. You can get clothes, shoes, and book bags under $100, school supplies under $50, and personal computers costing less than $1,500, all tax-free. And the WESH News Sunrise team will be awake and ready to help you and your kids go back to school. We'll have live team coverage Monday morning starting at 4:30.
Right now, every single kennel and cage is full at the Orange County Animal Shelter. Staff is caring for more than 200 dogs and a lot of kittens and cats. Animal Services says it is in desperate need of people to adopt and to foster.
WESH News' Haley Krummelholm explains what they are doing right now to make it easier to take a new family member home. A house is on fire.
And it's a race against the clock to save the families trapped inside.
I need everyone just to get up. Please, salga de la casa. Salga de la casa.
We are putting you in the officers' shoes as they rush to rescue the half a dozen people from the fast-moving flames.
Plus, the plane falls from the sky at 17,000 feet, killing everyone on board. New information on what went wrong.
Poor quality control and inexperienced workers. The scathing new NASA report on Boeing work for the Artemis program. Next.
Back to school.
Back to a new routine.
Back to what matters to get your day going.
Right here on WESH 2 News Sunrise.
The news and information that's happening now.
Your weather from drop-off to pickup. And which roads to avoid for a smooth commute.
Start your school day with WESH 2 News Sunrise. Your live eye in the sky, covering breaking news in Central Florida. This is Chopper 2, and it's only on WESH 2 News. Local, live, late breaking.
This First Morning Weather Update is sponsored by attorney Dan Newlin.
I need everyone just to get up. Please, salga de la casa. Salga de la casa.
Dramatic new video at 11. A house on fire, and police in New York are racing the clock to get people out. Neighbors watch as officers got a ladder up the side of the multi-family home to help half a dozen people, including one child, trapped on the second floor.
They were doing everything they could as fast as they could to help them before the fire department could even get here.
Nobody else upstairs, right? Nobody else upstairs?
Yeah, Bobby, let's get out of this.
Now, 2 residents did suffer minor smoke inhalation, but there were no serious injuries. Firefighters quickly brought the flames under control. They say a cigarette is what sparked this fire.
Investigators near Sao Paulo, Brazil, are combing through the wreckage after a plane crashed into several homes. This is brand new video, the plane plunging 17,000 feet in just 1 minute. It had taken off just 1 hour before in the Sao Paulo region. One woman says she saw the plane spinning in midair.
I heard a very loud noise very close to me. I thought it was a drone. I looked up to the sky and saw the plane spinning. In my head, in a matter of seconds, I didn't realize that it wasn't the normal movement of a plane, and I just had time to duck.
All 61 people on board this jet died. No one on the ground was hurt. Right now, officials do not know what caused the crash.
New tonight, a scathing government watchdog report says Boeing workers responsible for building the upper stage of NASA's moon rocket do not meet NASA standards.
It's the latest setback for the company, already dealing with airline safety issues and an uncertain return for the Starliner spacecraft. WESH News' Dave McDaniel looks inside the report for us. The core stage of Artemis 2 is inside the vehicle assembly building right now. Here's a live look tonight at the VAB. It is scheduled to take a trip around the moon with 3 American and 1 Canadian astronaut next year. WESH reached out to Boeing for a comment on the government report, but we are told to direct our questions to NASA. NASA was unavailable tonight. And in just a few hours, SpaceX will try once again to launch a Falcon 9 from Kennedy Space Center. The mission will send a new batch of Starlink satellites into orbit. Liftoff set for 9:03 a.m. SpaceX scrubbed today's attempt due to the weather.
And speaking of the weather, for the most part, our radar is clear. Just a little something to our south.
Yeah, and for the launch tomorrow morning, by the way, at that time of the day, we should be in pretty good shape. There are, though, a couple of showers and storms near Palm Bay, far southern Brevard County. Let me take you to the coast there real quick. Exploration Tower over there in Brevard County, over towards Port Canaveral. Beautiful looking shot there tonight. Rain free on a warm, humid night for sure. Temperatures along the coast, low 80s, except for Palm Coast, 79. Back through the interior, 80 to 83 degrees. Live radar doesn't show a whole lot until you really zoom down to the south here. And there's a pretty good little thunderstorm right now, right over I-95, Palm Bay, Malabar, north side of Grand here, over towards Melbourne Beach. Going to get a pretty good little a downpour here over the next 15 to 20 minutes before it moves offshore. The rain has left the turnpike from earlier this evening. And as we take a look now at the next 12 hours, temperatures falling back into the upper 70s by daybreak. Now, the setup for the weekend, we've got this stall down front to the north, but we have a west to west southwest wind. And anytime you get that, 2 things happen. The landmass heats up. We're going to be in the mid-90s, but you also get to transport a lot of moisture off of the Gulf of Mexico, and that means that the eastern side of the peninsula is going to do very, very well. We believe both Saturday and Sunday afternoon. 2-day rainfall totals could easily exceed 3 inches of rain east of I-95. Saturday, Sunday, temperatures mid-90s, rainfall chances running at about 50 to 60%. Before the storms get going, it is all about the heat. Look at these readings now. 92, 93 along the coast, back through the interior, 92 to about 96 degrees. Then you factor in the humidity and it feels like temperatures at 11:30 in the morning. You're trying to cut the lawn, it's 100 to 104 degrees. And then by the 2 o'clock hour, 103 to about 109. And that'll stay in that range there through about 4 o'clock. Then the showers and storms and the clouds start marching on in. That'll help things out by the time we get to mid-evening. So 12-hour forecast. over towards Flagler Beach there. Low 90s early on, then the late day showers and storms will be arriving. So get to the beach early, enjoy a good chunk of the afternoon, mid to late afternoon. Storms will be rolling on in. High tides at 145. Rip risk for now is low. The pool forecast looks good. Just keep an eye on that western sky for showers and storms mid to late afternoon. The other big developing story, of course, is Invest 98, expected to become a tropical depression probably late Sunday night and or on Monday, and then likely to become Tropical Storm Ernesto. The first run of the models, now that we have an Invest, just came out. Again, I don't put too much stock in these. I like the other tropical models better than the ones we just showed you there. But here's the Euro. It develops this into Ernesto by Wednesday, very close to Puerto Rico, and then a sharp front drops on in and pulls this particular feature out to sea and the one right behind it. And we have really good model agreement between both the GFS and the Euro tonight, curving this off towards the northeast, very close to Bermuda. This is not set in stone. I don't want you to see this and say, Tony just showed it moving well to the east. This is going to flip-flop. We are in the monitoring mode on this disturbance, and it's too early this far out to really know the long-term path. So keep checking back in. Again, Ernesto is the next named storm. Putting it all together here for you. Saturday, Sunday, rainfall chances running down at about 60%. First day of school, still quite high, as will be those temperatures, and that's where we'll stay for a good chunk of next week. Guys, over to you.
Tony, thank you. Taking a look at the flame right now out in Paris. This is live, by the way. Just 2 more days of competition left before the closing ceremony. Kissimmee native Victor Montalvo going to be competing tomorrow in the new sport, breaking. New competition. He won last year's World Breaking Championship. He looks to add on to Team USA's 111 medals, 33 of them gold. That's tied with China, France, Great Britain, and Australia round out the top 5 in the medal count. Did you guys see any breaking today?
I did not.
There is a big gap in talent. Kind of like the 92 Dream Team where they were really good and other people were really bad. There are really good breakers out there, and there is some that makes you think you can be an Olympian.
That's the beauty of art.
It's new. You know,
you got to see some of this stuff.
I got to check it out after the game.
It's art.
Let's talk football art, man.
Tonight was art, right? The NFL preseason. It's something special. Bucks playing tomorrow. The Dolphins were in action tonight. We'll have highlights from South Florida. No breakdancing on the way, though. Plus, Orlando City in an absolute nail-biter downtown tonight. Leagues Cup knockout round of 32 action, and it came down to the wire. Highlights next in sports.
This is Kellyanne. She's your morning meteorologist and Central Florida's certified most accurate.
No matter the forecast, I've got your day covered.
Start your day with meteorologist Kellyanne Class and WESH 2 First Warning Weather.
WESH 2 Sports is sponsored by Mullinax Ford. Shop Mullinax, where you'll find 0% financing and 3,000 new Fords on sale during the summer sales event. Now, WESH 2 Sports, sponsored by Mullinax Ford.
Call it a new challenge. Hello, everybody. I'm Darren Stoltzfus. As the Bucks begin the preseason tomorrow, we know most of their starters will sit in Cincinnati. For 3 guys on the team, it just means a little more rest, and the chances are with those 3, it's okay by them. That is it for sports. More news on the other side of the break.
Stuart Moore on WESH 2 News.
The records will soon stop spinning at an Orlando business. After more than 50 years, East West Records on Orange Avenue is closing its doors. The owner says they are moving on to other things. Emma Saros' family bought the store 6 years ago from the founders who made it happen in the early 70s.
I started collecting records when I was like 12 years old. I didn't have anywhere to go to get them, so he took me to East West Records, and I fell in love with the store.
For most of the day, you could see a line outside the store because there was not enough room inside for everyone to be able to visit. East West is holding a closing sale throughout the weekend.
Good stuff. All right, Tony, how are we waking up tomorrow?
It's going to be humid, right around 80 degrees. And we take a look now real quickly at that 7-day forecast. Weekend highs, mid-90s, feeling like 102 to 107. So watch those youngsters as they play outside. Make sure we keep them hydrated. The pools are going to be your best friend.
They're going to be hot. Yeah. Hey, we got 2 rock stars for you tomorrow morning with Christina Watkins and Eric Burris. Make sure you wake up with them at 5 a.m. They're going to have the latest updates on all the things that are happening in the weather world and, of course, news.
Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.